Alright, welcome back to my little hole in the wall here. For those who have been watching my channel, I do use air compressors, and this little one is the one I've been using for quite a long time. And it is insanely loud, as many of you know these smaller ones are. So I have been perusing the face-based marketplace and or Craigslist, and they either want way too much money, the compressor is way too old, or it's just so massive that I can't get it home. But currently this one came up about an hour's drive from me, and I snagged it up, and I'm happy I did. It does need a little bit of work here. This one was used in industrial sprinkler fire suppression systems, and so it would constantly pressurize the pipes during winter times to keep the water out, I guess. So it is only rigged to stop at about 60 or 80 psi currently on the tank, and the tank is certified here, and I can't believe 2003 was like 20 something years ago. But the pressure relief control switch, this guy up here, only goes to about 60, so the plan is to just throw one on there to where I can at least get it to like 100 or 120 and be able to use it as a compressor. They still make these. They are stupid expensive if you buy them brand new. The oil is still nice and clean, as well as the air filter, but you can still get maintenance kits for them. It's a general. You can kind of see the numbers there if you want to pause that. It's got a maintenance instruction tag. It's a 115 volt motor. It's about a 10-gallon tank. It's completely quieter, not completely, but it is a heck of a lot quieter than that little Craftsman one. I do have a larger Craftsman one, but the pump on it is just giving up life basically. I think it can only reach about 50 psi before it leaks past the pump. So that is what we're currently looking at. The previous owner wired in the switch and ran it so you can flick it on and off with the switch, which is pretty nice. Depending on the box I get here, the pressure control, there might be a switch up here, but I guess I'll see what I can find. I'm just getting it home and gonna give her a once over, give it a nice clean, get some rubber feet insulators for it, and then find somewhere to put it, you know, in the vast openness here. I was thinking maybe up closer to the ceiling on a shelf, maybe, just so it's up and out of the way. I hate to put it behind the machine where it just gets covered in nasties, and you don't want to cover them up with one of those little houses. You still want air circulation on them. So I was looking at those oilless ones that you can get from Lowe's, those like really quiet ones. I just couldn't find myself buying that much, or buying something that costly. I like to be a little thrifty every once in a while, so this way, with a little bit of money invested, it'll be a nice, reliable compressor, and currently it has no quick connectors on it. It just has that tube there coming out and a plug on the back end, and it does have a relief valve down here. I did open that up, and I got a little bit of brown, but nothing too alarming here. If you are looking at buying compressors, the older they are, the more likelihood that you're buying a bomb, basically. And even something, well, this one's 20 years old, but even something new can still rot out the tank if you don't drain the water out of it. So be sure to drain your compressors and service them regularly. The larger Craftsman one I do own, I took it out to a scuba shop, and they pressurized, or they over pressurized it. I believe they filled it with water and then just let it run until, till the cows come home. And it tested at like 230 psi on the tank, just because I was nervous with that tank since it was made in like 1958. They're kind of pushing it when they get older like that. You want to make sure they have that tag of info on them whenever you buy them. And then parts are the biggest wrench in your wheel, I guess. Even just a simple tune-up kit, air filter and oil, belt, and that the fact that you can still make parts for them is also a big win when you're shopping. Anyway, this one's only going to be mainly for air guns, maybe a little disc angle grinder, or not disc grinder, but maybe one of those little guys. This isn't meant for a big impact gun or anything like that. It's not big enough for that. It does have a 3/4 horse motor on it, so it'll get me through whatever I need, and then we'll figure it out from there, I guess. So let me clean this up a little bit more, and then I'll turn it on for you guys so you can hear it run. It's fairly quiet. It's a heck of a lot quieter than your normal big box store compressor. So let me dive in a little bit here, and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, I'm back on the compressor here. So I did buy a new pressure cutoff switch, so it can go to 125. However, that is the new pressure on the relief valve I bought. So 120 is going to be what we're aiming for, and this is a assembled in US made Hubble. So I had to rig up an adapter, put it on there. Pretty darn nice quality. It also has an on-off switch on it. I'm probably not going to use that. I'll still use the light switch over there. Everything plumbed in just fine. Changed that out. I'm trying to get that nasty plug out. So right now it's a little hot still. I did manage to get the other thing off of here, and then I saw that lovely thing, and I thought I might want to look inside of this thing. So let's see if I can show you guys. Oh, I gotta lean it back. Okay. Ooh, don't fall. So if you lean it back, I put the light. I don't know how well you guys are going to see. You're not going to see very. Oh, you can kind of see. so you can't see great, so I'm trying to get that other cap off. But visually, if you stick your eyeball right there, you can see kind of this layer of crap in the bottom of this. And so I'm going to probably rinse that tank out and let it air dry, just for peace of mind, knowing that the tank is good and it's clean. So we're gonna do that. Took off the drain there because these two ears were bent in, so you could barely unscrew it. And then picked up some sound dampening pads off of Amazon here. I haven't wired in the switch yet, but we're just gonna use the existing. Might have to trim it up a little bit to make it a bit more eye appealing, but that should work just fine. Once I get that off, I'll get a nicer plug for either side, and then we'll figure something out to do a quick connect or go right into a what am I trying to say? The regulator. There we go. Just go right into a regulator and then go into one of these. So that is our current goal here. There's more info on that if you wish. This was about 50 bucks delivered to my door, so I ain't mad about that. So far we're in at 200 with, that's only the switch and the compressor itself, but the feet, I want to say they were like 15 or so bucks, and then miscellaneous fittings and things were probably at like 240 cost wise right now. I tried to buy a plug here, but this thing is grossly massive. I was thinking of just threading that in there and then putting in a quick connect like that, but it's hilariously too big. So there's that lesson learned. These are about 1 inch diameter. At least that's what the old one was here. So it's definitely had some moisture in there. Part of me got to thinking that since this was hooked up to a sprinkler system, that's probably like the worst thing a compressor can do, is be hooked up to a water source. So we're definitely gonna take a thorough look at the tank once that plug is off. Builds pressure fine, so we'll see what the condition of the innards of the tank is, and then we'll go from there. Total complete worst case scenario, I just moved the pump over to that older Craftsman I have. However, I really hope it doesn't come to that scenario, but you can't always get what you want here. I was also in Harbor Freight today and picked up a little angle grinder here, the Chief brand, about $49.99, and a couple of goodies to go with it. So gonna be just fine for what I need. Oh, and then I also got some air tool oil. And then look at that. What is that? Huh. Anyway, always important to oil your air tools. In the meantime, I guess I will keep fighting that plug, and then I'll bring you guys back when I can give you guys a better view of the inside of the tank here. Alright, well, it wasn't coming out, so the current state is that the square is no longer there, and then I started drilling it through, but I don't know where my drill went, so I ordered a 7/8 bit, which should let me plow through most of that. This is 1 inch overall diameter, so if I drill it with the 7/8, then there ain't going to be very much left of it, which I can just peel it out basically. So that is where we are there. I hit it with a little carb clean, that's why the paint looks like that, but it is primed underneath the paint, so that's okay. I just want to get that plug out of there so I don't have to worry about it. I just so happen to have this plug in my stash, and it's the same threads, so there's that. But we're stuck in waiting mode, I guess. And I figured that plug would fight me. It would not budge. We even brought out the big old pipe wrench, and that didn't do anything. And then we tried welding an old open end wrench on it, and that didn't really help very much, as you can see. So that didn't work. Of course it's cast iron, I think, so those two don't really weld together anyway, but you know, it did try. You know, I might knock that out and give it another shot with the welder. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, while we're waiting for the drill there, we got the pressure switch wired in. It can use this on-off back here, but I'm just still going to use the light switch. So here's what it sounds like running. That's pretty darn quiet. And of course it can't build pressure because that's out, the other cap's out. And I think anyway, yeah, the main the water purge valve is also out. So while I wait, I'm gonna clean up this giant mess that I've created, and then when we come back, I should have this plug out. I'm taking a 7/8 drill bit, and I'm just gonna drill the thing out, and then probably get a chisel or something and just crack it, because it's cheap, or it's not cheap, it's just cast steel. It's a lot more malleable than the nice steel tank, so we're just gonna get rid of that and put a new cap on it. Alright, well, we got the plug out, thankfully, so I ended up having to buy another drill bit, a 15/16, and then another tap in order to get that plug out. That thing just would not come out. So luckily I was able to chase the threads with the tap and rig it up here. As you see, this is a Harbor Freight air filter with a regulator on it. It's not too bad for $49.99. So we got that. Miscellaneous brass fittings and whatnot, and we changed the oil, so now I got fresh oil. We're using some royal purple here. We set the pressure switch to kick off at about $1.20. My little air relief thing there is 125, so that should be plenty of air for what I use it for. and there's no leaks, thankfully, from the tank. I did wash out what was in the tank. There was a little bit of chunks of rust in there, but nothing too major, so that worked out fine. The stinking oil fill didn't cooperate, so we made a big honking mess, but oh well. Anyway, it's pressurized right now. There's no air leaks. I'm gonna have to figure out maybe a different coupler, because my hose does not work with that. So in the meantime, it works and it charges up and it kicks off and it's fairly quiet. So that was the whole reason for this escapade. Now, it probably would have been about the same amount of money if I would have got something else, honestly, because it was the tank and then a new pressure regulator and then a air filter and a regulator and then miscellaneous brass fittings and then chasing the broken bolt or the cap. So choose your air compressors wisely, fellas and fellettes. This one will serve me just fine. I gotta get the belt cover back on it, and then I gotta figure out where in the heck I'm gonna put it. To be determined, but I'm just happy I got a nice size air compressor. So thank you all for watching. I'm sure you'll see it hanging out in the background of some videos here coming up, and hope you all have a great weekend. Well, it's in the place where I didn't really want to put it, but it fits pretty nice right there. So I wanted it up off the floor for access to the drain and make everything a little nicer. So I went and got some cedar and lightly stained it for the feet with the rubber insulators. And those rubber insulators work darn good, because without them this thing would vibrate itself off the stand. But with them on there, I don't have to bolt or clamp this thing at all. I will probably still run like 1x through the feet with like a C-clamp just to make sure it's stable. But I mean, it ain't going nowhere. So I did end up buying some new fittings and then a few more adapters, some high flow fittings that are really stinking nice, and you don't even have to do anything. Bam. So high flow fitting, I think it's a larger diameter than what my hose is, and now it's contemplating whether to plumb it in, and do the whole plumbing thing, which I'm not sure if I want to do that, because I'm just going to have the hose come around right here to the machine. Anything else I need, I will probably put in like a T or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm just happy the air compressor adventure is over and it can sit there and get me pressurized air. So thank you all for watching, and I am darn close to over 600, surprisingly. So thank you all, and the new peoples and whatnot. I shall see you next time. All right. See ya.